Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to our stream tonight, where we compare the pre-built Alliance Chieftain that Frontier Developments put out with an E-rated version of a Chieftain that we've been long using as a training ship in anti-Xeno combat. As you can see, we created this version, which I think aptly named the Xeno Strike Force Joke, and we'll get into a moment as to why I think that is an appropriate name for this ship. I've also gotten a little creative with the livery to see if we could get like as close to a joke ship as possible, combining an element of a Titan ship kit with some weird white and pink color, which makes for a remarkable version of a ship, which suits what the build is about, at least in my personal opinion. This is effectively the build that Frontier Developments will be selling on a pre-configured basis, with a buy-with shield, with two anti-Guardian Field resistant small Guardian Gauss cannons, with two large gimbaled enhanced AX multi-cannons, an enhanced Xeno scanner, a 6A distributor unengineered, a 2A AFMU, 5D light support, non-engineered 1E beam laser. Lord knows what that is for, but we'll get into that as well. Caustic Sync launcher, also unengineered. The one thing I have changed, because this is Harad after all, and I didn't want to keep you guys spending most of this, not all of this stream, just staring at Super Cruise interdictions, is I've replaced the 5A frameshift drive that the ship's nominally coming equipped with the 5C Super Cruise overcharge version to allow us to get here relatively quickly. It then has a torpedo pilot in the medium slot on its nose, a firework pulse neutralizer. It has research limpet controllers, which I find to be maybe one of the most, if not the most controversial choice as far as design is concerned, because on one hand, the ship does not have a pulse wave Xeno scanner. It instead has an enhanced Xeno scanner, which means that you cannot scan the Titan. So you're not going to be able to see the hotspots on the maw and on the hull to actually obtain Fargoid Titan tissue samples. So you can't use research limpet for that. What you can use your research limpets for is for scouts and interceptors. However, all the cargo that research limpets bring back is corrosive. And as the ship has stated, the ship only has a 16-ton regular, not corrosive resistant, cargo rack. And as a consequence, it is not able to collect corrosive cargo without consistently taking damage, which often results in your cargo hatch being damaged, your cargo being dumped into deep space, and you losing sort of all the effort and time that went into using your research limpet controller. So this is a bit pointless in my point of view. In fact, we will also turn it off because we don't need it, as we will turn our frameshift drive as well, because we don't need this as well. Might actually keep it on because we might go in on frameshift drive so we can get straight into a Maelstrom as we get going. But we will turn it off, as is common practice for all Titan builds, to keep our heat lower once we do get inside the Maelstrom proper. Then it has 40 sensors and a 1A repair limpet controller, which in my personal view is also a terrible, terrible, terrible choice for two reasons. For one, the Class 1 repair limpet controller barely repairs at all. If you look at it, it has a repair capacity of 60, which is practically nothing. And furthermore, if you're going to use a repair limpet controller on a combat build, you generally will want to use the D variant, not the A variant. The D is lighter, it uses less power, which means less heat, and since basically the only difference is range, and since with a Class 1 you would not be repairing anyone anyway, because the range is way too limited to begin with. This one has an active range of 1,400 meters, which with ships that move around at 530 meters per second is kind of just forget about it. Yeah, this one doesn't make sense at all either. But this is a ship that they decided to give us as a pre-built, so this is like what we're going to use and see how it goes. And then we have on my carrier an E-rated version of this Chieftain, which is, in my opinion, better than this pre-built for a number of reasons that we're going to get to once we get to actually using the E-Rated Chieftain. But for the time being, let's try the pre-built ship. Let's use it to go in, and let's see how it does. Now, the one thing I should mention is how I configured my fire groups, because that's actually a pretty important thing that, like, built as described in the just Etsy or like the module list doesn't really tell you how like modules are configured. Like the way I've configured my fire groups is on my first fire group I have the nanite torpedo, and I tend to also map my heatsink together with that nanite torpedo because it's pretty important to stay cold while you're on a bombing run. We'll get to that in a moment. Now that's an unengineered heatsink, so we only have I think 3 heatsinks, which is not a lot, which is actually less than what a bombing run will take, but it's what we got, so that's what we're going to use. Also, the caustic sink launcher is unengineered, but that shouldn't be an issue. It should still have enough caustic sinks to let us get through the maelstrom. Now, the one thing this ship has going for it, maybe one of the key highlights of the spray engineer build, is its dirty drives. Dirty drive G5 with drag experimental, which is the best thrusters that you can put on the Chieftain, and the default version essentially of thrusters that any combat build typically uses. Now normally in this case I would turn silent running on, because if you turn silent running when the pulse wave goes over you, it does not overheat you. Now I have shields though, and I don't want to drop my shields, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use my pulse wave pulse neutralizer, but with that configuration it actually it went to 99. Cool, it didn't quite overheat me. Shielded builds also, for whatever reason, heat up less than unshielded builds. But anyway, we're through a pulse wave and we'll be at the asteroid field in a very brief time. One thing that I forgot to do, which I normally do, is I put 4 pips in sys, because 4 pips in sys gives you more time for the pulse neutralizer to stay active, which in turn gives you a bit of margin to, like, when you fire it, so that it's less likely that you will fire it prematurely and the pulse wave will pulse you back. Anyway, we're through, so that is not an issue. So in we are. Now, we got some caustic damage, but nothing that should be too bothersome. And now we are at the Titan, and we will go back to military speed, see if we can get our heat down to not undetection levels, but at least manageable levels. Note my Kovas is in German. My Kovas is in German because I don't speak German, and thus I don't understand what the Kovas is saying, which I think is also pretty reflective of the fact that I don't understand why the ship is this way it is. So yeah, Kovas is in German. Now the vents are coming open, but unfortunately I am way too far away to begin a bombing run from this range. I can switch to my bombing runs, my engines are in the appropriate place. Heat sinks are all capped out. Might be able to do it though. Yeah, I'm good. I'll go for a bombing run. It's not ideal in terms of like starting position, but it's good enough. Again, this Chieftain has G5 drives, which make it very good at orbiting on the Titan, especially once you get in a rhythm like we are right now. You can do very well on a vent bombing run. This is something that E-Rated Chieftain will not be able to do. Like, I will not be able to hit as many vents as I am hitting with this ship. So this is a highlight. As I mentioned, the drives are the one really good thing about this pre-built ship. Maybe the only highlight. Anyway, I think I got either 6 or 5 or some number. And now the core is going to come out. So now I have both Gauss and my gimbaled weapon together in the same fire group on 2 separate triggers, because this is how basically you use them. Note that Gauss basically does hardly any damage to the core, but this is the weapon we have, so this is the weapon we're going to use. Note that I'm out of heat sinks, so I will end up heating myself to like a really unhealthy level. But it's worth it. Now, I didn't see how much damage I did. I think it was about 12%. I mean, I'll go back and look at the video. Maybe someone was looking and can tell me in the chat. At this point, I'm going to synthesize heat sinks, see, and hope that I I don't get hit excessively. I think that has interrupted my sinks. I'm gonna go hide in the asteroid field because that's really the only thing I can do, and I'm constantly getting hit, so I might as well boost because I'm at 60% heat, so being at 60 or being at 65 or 78 doesn't make any difference in terms of detection. So we're here. Like, we lost some repel inputs, I think, to a cargo hatch malfunction, which is probably due to heat. And now we have missiles. That was from a Titan. Yeah, we have Titan missiles inbound. Probably Titan itself, but we have a fast ship, so we should be able to, like, elude them. So let's go and elude them. Did we need to recharge our system capacitor anyway. Let's see if we can lose the missiles in the asteroid field with a boost or two and some flight assist off shenanigans. Yeah, I think we lost them. It's good. Alright. We are very hot. Our system capacitor is very empty. We're recharging it. Let's see if we can get our heat sinks back. We did, so we're good on that. Our repair input is repairing a very minimal amount. I think it repairs about 4% of a hull, I want to say. But let's see how that goes. Now let's see if we can get ourselves back topside and in a better position to bomb. Fuel reserves are 10% because we used the super cruise override. We got hyperdicted multiple times on the way, but it's enough, and this is a one-way trip, so it doesn't matter. Let's see if we can position ourselves for a proper bombing run this time around, like we would do as a proper starting point. So here's the thing, we're so hot, and as soon as you're even remotely in range of like a scout or something, you will be detected and you will be fired upon by all turrets and missiles and things that are happening. But vents are about to open, so hopefully we'll be able to kind of like go on the bombing run that we wanted to be going on just in a moment. There we go. Right, and now we have sinks running, so we should cool off soon, and hopefully we can shake the aggression from the turrets in a second. This is a decent run. I don't think I will get 848 because I didn't start in a perfect way, but it's not bad. Or maybe I will get 848. I did. 848. So this is as much damage as we will ever do realistically, because this is a full 8 vent run. So let's go see how much damage we do. All of our pips are in lap. Thermal core is coming out, charging up, and firing. We're out of caustic sinks. And obviously we're being fire pawned by pretty much everything and everyone. I wasn't firing my Gauss because I was using the wrong button, as I didn't realize I had it on the opposite trigger. So I fear I could do a little bit more. But anyway, this was 13% damage. If I had a perfect run, I would have gotten a bit more. So let's go at somewhere between 14 and 15% is what you can do on a cycle basis with this ship. 220k, 217k. Cool. Alright, we have our heat up to the roof because we're totally out of heat sinks. Let's see. Oh no, we have a heat sink. Oh, we should be able to trigger a heat sink then. Alright, now we have interceptors on our tail as well. But we're fast, so we should be able to shake them. And sinks are down. Taking a beating, but we're all out of repair inputs at this point, because mostly not because we used them, but mostly because we lost them to cargo hatch malfunctions. And Now we are back close to being topside. At our 30% heat, caustic mines are a big danger, so I'm actually being very careful about staying as far as possible from most mines as I can, because I will trigger them at this heat from a pretty significant distance. Alright, let's see if I can do 8-4 advance again. Or something close to that. And this time actually remember to fire my Gauss cannons properly. Noting that they are by far not the major source of damage, and noting also that I am out of caustic sink ammo at this point. And here we go again. We are caught in attention. I'm gonna keep 4 pips and sis to make sure the shields hold as long as possible. And as soon as you hear the vents beginning to open, I will switch pips to engine so that I can sort of do the rounds. Alright, vents are coming open. Alright, this time we have a good position. Should be good to go in any second now. Alright, off we go. Torpedo malfunction. This is not good. This is not going to be a good run, but there's nothing I can do about it. I could have repaired it with my FMU, but I wasn't really in an ideal place to do so earlier. So let's see if I can land a torp from this angle. I think I did. I trying to salvage this run. It's not ideal, but I think we can get 4 or 5 torps. It's malfunctioning again. Heat damage will do that. For whatever reason, torps malfunction like even way beyond 80%. And can't, there you go, malfunctioning again. Alright, this is going to be a short run. But it is what it is. Let's see what we can do. Alright, Antari out of heat sink, so we're going to cook ourselves again, which is fine because we're going to take caustic damage anyway, so might as well get that heat up so that we burn our caustic off as it comes in. There it is. Now we're using Gauss as we should. We're not in ideal range, so let's see if we can close up a little bit. We also forgot to put 4 pips in web, so we had to hit. Now we are in ideal range of Gauss, and we're cooking our ship to some really high degree. I think I did 10% now, which on 4 vents was like not expectable. Alright, 32%, and like cooking myself to like 184,000. Yeah, putting Guardian more reinforcement packages would have been interesting on this build. Alright, let's see if we can charge this bi-weave while we're at it. Thrusters are malfunctioning. Everything is kind of falling apart. Guardian Gauss kind of rendered inoperable. I think, yeah, we lost the Guardian Gauss. Not that it makes a big difference because it's not like those do a lot of damage. But now the ship is practically dead. I mean, I could use the FMU to go ahead and repair myself to a degree. Maybe I will kind of do it just to repair my oops. Now I wasn't looking at where I was going. And the heat of the thing. And now I'm caustic. Alright, well, we could try and salvage, do another run, like, but I have to cook myself, and the old caustic incoming, but I think we can realistically call it a day, and say this is what we've done with this ship, is 3 runs with 180 to 200 each, let's go 280, we just 600k damage, and now we are faster, let's fast travel that back. Alright. So this is what we did with the Frontier pre-engineered ship. And I think what we can call a pretty fair attempt and a serious attempt at doing as well as we reasonably could. And I completely agree, just based on how... Oh, why is it... Oh, geez. Why is it putting me as Shindes? Okay, this is going to be a problem for this experience because... I hadn't docked for my carrier, but it's somehow spawning me back a Shinarta Desra for reasons that I am unaware of. So what we'll have to do now is we'll need to buy a hauler, put some silly things on it to make it back to my carrier, and see if we can scrounge together enough to make the E-Rated Chieftain that we were talking about earlier work. Probably not, but at least we'll see if we can make it work with some kind of like with some minor adjustment and scavenging pieces from a few other ships. So let's do that. Outfitting. All we really need here is a frameshift drive and frameshift drive booster and a fuel scoop, and then we're good. Frameshift drive, boosters. There you are. Sell our shield because now we kind of need it. Put a fuel scooper here, and I think we're good to head out to back to Carryland. Is there something I can do to sort of like, well, turn the hatch off and we should be fine. All right, cool, and off we go. Yeah, I know. I mean, people didn't like what I had to say about the spell, and so yeah, off to Shindas I was sent. Now this is a bug that I've seen before, although I'm not sure I kind of pretty much able to consistently say what the hell is going on as to why sometimes the system that you last docked at didn't quite register. They did not announce how many arcs this ship is going to cost, so we have no idea. I hope it's not a lot, because candidly, it's not worth it. It's not worth more than just, even if you say a week worth of arcs, which is what, 400? I don't even know. How many arcs do you get? 400 max per week, right? So, yeah. I'd pay 400 arcs just to get a chieftain that has no rebuy cost with dirty drive G5 drives. And then my personal chieftain, my preferred chieftain, doesn't have military grade armor. It has lightweight alloys with heavy duty. However, military grade with lightweight and heavy duty is actually a really nice compromise. So I could live with that as well. And having a mil grade chief that has 0 rebuy is nice. So, I mean, there's value in that. Like, that's probably the value of the ship. And then I would just completely sort of dismantle most everything else and replace it or engineer it, like, depending on what I'm planning to do with a ship. I mean, the fundamental thing is the Chieftain also does not make for a good Titan bomber. Because of its hardpoint configuration, Titan bombing is inherently better suited for large and medium hardpoints, and the Chieftain has 2 large hardpoints and a medium one, and that's it. Everything else is small hardpoints. So, yeah, the Chieftain is not a good Titan bomber. The Chieftain is the par excellence best solo fighter there is, for the vast majority of skill levels. Like, there can be some debate at the very top end of a skill level whether the crate surpasses it when you kind of start getting a hold of boost orbiting and the like, but for 99.8% of humanity, the Chieftain is the best 1 versus 1 solo fighter, and it holds its own also in combat zone and many other situations that are not strictly solo combat. And regarding the question about having a rebuy once modified, my understanding is that this works like pre-engineered modules, right? So pre-engineered modules have 0 rebuy, so the moment you install pre-engineered modules, the value of your ship goes down and the cost of your rebuy goes down. So if you keep mil-grade armor on the ship, for example, the mil-grade armor would have a 0 cost, and the only rebuy cost would be the cost of the whatever sensors you put in. Well, you actually keep those sensors. There's very few things that you kind of like just, you know, in terms of core internals, you inherently would want to swap out. Like, the power plant is fine, you just need to engineer it, like, for instance. And yes, the Charlie is probably the best wing fighter, if you ask me. Like, again, there's an argument to be made about the crate and specific settings and circumstances, but for AXCCs, the Charlie is amazing. Also, I love the Charlie with the Cyto Charlie, the Challenger with beams and Cyto scramblers, and Gauss just rocks, in my view. Like, also the convergence of the 3 Gauss cannons that are mounted on the chin of the Challenger is like just so sweet. It's like pinpoint accuracy at 1.5 kilometers. Not many ships have that kind of accuracy. Maybe the Hauler does. Actually, the Hauler definitely does. And yes, I mean, I agree. It's not like rebuy makes a humongous difference, but again, it's nice to kind of note that you can fast travel, like self-destruct your ship, and really not have any impact whatsoever on your credit balance. Right. How many jumps am I away? 4 jumps away. Oh gosh, this is so annoying. Yeah. Storm, Hauler's convergence is definitely the best in the game, as we all know. Oh, that's what happened, Thomas. You are absolutely right. I had transferred the ship. I hadn't docked it. And so the ship is registered to the station where it was originally purchased. That is exactly the situation we got into. Thank you for pointing that out. I hadn't actually realized that that is what happened, but that is exactly what happened here. Yeah, Heavy Raven. That's kind of a point and kind of a joke that, like, the Hauler does have a best convergence in the game because it does have a single hardpoint. Although the ship model of the Hauler is actually designed with 2 hardpoints, not 1. Where is it? See? There's like a hardpoint here, but it was designed to also have a hardpoint here. And at some point, someone decided to just leave it with 1. I don't know why, but it is what it is. As for the Swarm Challenge rank of the Anti-Xeno Initiative, honestly, I think the Sidewinder is much better than the Hauler. Having used extensively both, I mean, the siding it's just easier to fly 2 siding instead of 4 haulers. Everything is more complicated with 4 haulers. Like, even 1 sidey and 2 haulers, I guess. Sorry, 1 sidey and 1 hauler is much easier than flying 3 haulers around. Or 1 sidey and 2 haulers, depending on like whatever you're doing. Alright, 2 jumps away. That is also true. Like, Hauler does have power grid issues, no question. Well, like, I don't think, just for whatever reason, the Hauler doesn't strike me as a ship that I needed to fly overcharge in terms of power plant. The Eagle did. The Eagle needed an overcharge plant to actually function as an AX ship. But the Hauler, I don't know, might be misremembering, but it doesn't strike me as like a ship that I felt I needed an overcharge plant to make it work. And this is not an adder, this is a Hauler, so it's double clickbaited. You were Kaidos, like you were clickbaited into not being a chieftain, and B, you were clickbaited in this not being an adder. Alright. 1 more jump. Yeah, armored is usually what I have on the Hauler too. So you can't go overcharged if you need to. I'm trying to remember, even the plasma charger Hauler that I've made to do some silly stuff I was doing with a Hauler with a plasma charge. Even that one didn't need overcharged. I think that also used armored. Might have used armored monster, but not overcharged. All right, let's see. Now I'm kind of thinking, which ships did I transfer to my carrier and I have not yet docked? Because I don't want this to happen again. Transferred a bunch of Type 10s. But I'm not going to go kind of self-destructing Type 10s in the near future, so those should be fine. Alright. Now where is our ship? There it is. Oh, we have Super Cruise Assist. What a luxury. Yeah, I haven't used mod shards on the hauler because small mod shards kind of suck. Small mod plasmas also kind of suck, but they have the remarkable factor that it is possible to exert a Medusa with a hauler with a small NPC, whereas it's not possible to exert a Medusa just with a hauler with a small Gauss cannon. So, in the shenanigans related to the Medusas, I had an NPC on a hauler. Oh, I try to remember if it was for a Medusa or for a Basilisk. I mean, it was a long time ago, so it's like my memory is kind of failing me at this point. And yes, Enigma, that's kind of a joke about the hauling having the best conversions in the game. But short of a hauler, I do think that the Challenger with its free nose mounted medium hard points is probably a close second. I don't know a lot of ships that get that close in terms of conversions to pinpoint at 1.5 kilometer range. Maybe the Federal Assault ship, probably. But yeah, it's a small group of ships that are that good from a conversion standpoint. Hauler collapse with mod shards is actually a lot of fun. It's less fun once you get to Basilisk and up. Because the issue with mod shards is they're pretty good at exerting, but they're not that great at shooting down hearts. Not only are they not hit gun, but they also do pathetic breach damage. So you're often looking at multiple exert cycles, which on a Klops, not an issue. On a Bazzi, yeah, you can kind of somehow make it work, but on a Medusa, it's like death and destruction and misery. So that fight, I never did. Like, Dueler Halls were done by Quinn, but it was done with broken mod shards. I don't think anyone's done it legit mod shards or mod plasmas or otherwise. All right, and here we go. I'm not sure I'm following your logic, Enigma, about all ships having perfect convergence, but I'm sure there's like some fascinating insight involved in that logic. What I would personally would love to understand is how micro gimbling and gimbling works, or fixed weapons and the like. So I'm not sure I ever understood how that X-ray exactly works, and I also don't know if it's like a visual glitch or it actually has to do with aiming or the like. It's one of those things that I'm like, at some point I should kind of give this thing a bit of a study because it's interesting, and I haven't personally spent time trying to understand it very much. Alright, let's transfer our ship back, which is going to take forever, but fortunately our E-Rated Chieftain is already here, so we can use it, or at least a version of that. Noting, I don't think we have... Does a crate have a 5 or 6 frame shift drive? If it has a 5, we might also have a Super Cruise Assist, which would be fantastic. Alright, let's get the joke transferred back here. Alright, the joke is on its way. Now, we need a few things, though, to make the E-Rated Chieftain work, because... So we need to scavenge pieces from other ships, because we don't want to wait half an hour for the joke to transfer and those pieces to come on that ship. So where is the duty? The duty crate Mark II is... Should be somewhere in here. There it is. Too many ships. Yeah. Alright. Let's drop a few pieces for... Oh, this is an SFN. Okay, well, I need to find the right one. But we should have the SCO. Oh, class 5. Perfect. So this we can store and move to that ship. What else did we need? We need the weapons, but the weapons we don't have, so those we're going to have to do without, so whatever. It's not the end of the world. What else do we need on that ship? We need the TPN. Which ship has a TPN? I think my Conda has a TPN, so let's scavenge it for my Conda. By the way, I'm very sad. I wanted to make a railgun Anaconda specifically for scout hunting, and my friends in the Xeno Strike Force dissuaded me from trying it. So we shall not have that. We have instead an NPC Conda, because NPC Conda with Side of Scramblers are so cool. So that's what we have here. But all we want is the Firewall Pulse Neutralizer, right? Is the only thing we want here. And but we'll replace it with I would have replaced it with a Shutdown Field Neutralizer, but I didn't take it off a crate, so I don't have it. So we will just store it. And now we should have enough to make the E-Rated Chieftain work. The E-Rated Chieftain is called Xeno Skill Issue because it is the ship that will highlight every skill issue you have related to anti-Xeno combat that you could possibly ever think you could somehow hide with a ship that actually carries you, because this ship does not carry you in the least. Does it? Not even close. So this is again a fully E-rated, unengineered. Like, I was planning to put 2 small Gauss cannons here, but they're not here. They're traveling with a joke, so they're gonna be half an hour here. But they don't matter. They don't do basically any damage, and who cares? So I'm not using them. I do have an abrasion blaster. Why? Because at least the abrasion blaster is something you can do something with around the Titan by shooting the material collection spots and getting more materials than you would otherwise. So at least it has some function for an unengineered module. You normally put a gimbal thermal vent beam, but since we're doing unengineered things, this is what I decided to put there. I also had one on hand, and I was like, on you go. Again, these 2 hard points are really meant for the Gauss cannons with AGF that are on the joke, but they'll be empty for this run, and it's not the end of the world. Now, the difference here is I've sacrificed the scanner to put a second heatsink, and this is going to make a big difference, as I think you will see, in the grand scheme of things. We still have the unengineered caustic sink launcher because we want to do some kind of like reasonable comparison. And what we do need is the Firewall Pulse Neutralizer, because without this, we're not going anywhere. So that we have. Now, the power plant, everything here is E-rated. So thruster is E-rated, power plant E-rated. Frameshift Dry is also E-rated, but this one we're going to put the 5C Super Cruise overcharge, because otherwise we're going to take the whole string to get to Haddad, and it's not like this gives any combat performance whatsoever. So in it goes for the sake of expediency. Everything else, power distributor, sensor, everything is E-rated, life support, you name it. And the optional internal, same thing. Everything is E-rated. So modern reinforcement, E-rated. Repair Olympus, E-rated. Corrosion resistant cargo rack. Not that corrosion matters, because we're not going to carry any corrosive cargo. I could put also like a regular 4E. Actually, let's do that if I have it on hand. Do I have it on hand? No, I only have. Here's the thing. I only have the regular ones, and I don't want to bother buying corrosive one. They are exactly the same in terms of weight, statistics, and everything else. Like, pretend it's a regular and not a corrosive resistant one. Again, not that it makes any difference whatsoever. And then hard reinforcement packages, motor reinforcement packages, everything is E-rated. Even the FMU is E-rated, because this is the infamous E-Rated Chieftain, which is, and I stand by this, the best training ship for anti-Xeno combat that you could ever hope for. Because not only does the ship not carry you in the least, but there's no shame in failing at whatever you're trying to do in the ship. Because the ship is so bad, if you fail over and over and over again, not only will your bank account not be particularly damaged, because there's very small rebuy, but more importantly, for most people, your pride is not going to be hurt, because you know that you're fighting the ship to make it do even the most basic things. In terms of fire groups, you'll see I have the nanite torpedo together with 1 heat sinks on the first torpedo pylon, and then the second heat sink together with Missile Rex will be on the second. I put the abrasion blaster on the second trigger of the first fire group because I put it somewhere, and there's no other particular use of a second trigger on the bombing fire group. I would have put the Gauss cannons on the second trigger, but I don't have a Gauss cannons because the joke is en route, so this is what we got. And then I have repair limpets and data link scanners, composition scanners, all this junk that is useless here. And I have the caustic sink and target pulse neutralizer on the final fire group. So the ship, as far as fire group is concerned, is good to go. Now, notice that even though our Our repair limpet is E-rated. Remember how little the silly Class 1 repair limpet repaired? We repaired 60 hull points. The E-rated repair limpet controllers repairs 310. That is more than 5 times what the repair limpet controller on the Frontier development build will repair for any given single limpet. More than 5 times. Five fingers, 5 times. So humongous difference. Also, we don't have a shield, which only makes a bigger target. It makes makes it hotter. It just sucks. And we don't have nonsense like the research limpet controller on this ship. Good question. How much hull does this ship have? A reasonable amount for an E-rated ship, I want to say, but I don't remember top of my head how much it is. 1,400. 1,400 hull heft. I've killed Hydras on something like 135 hull points. I think the lowest I've done is the so-called Hollow Viper. Someone can go and look up how many hull points that was, but it was probably fewer than 200. So if you can kill a Hydra with 200 hull points, you can probably do a lot of things with 1,400. Also, despite the E-Rated Chieftain being crap, because it is, let's be honest, it is surprisingly maneuverable for an E-Rated ship. There's a lot of ships that once you put E-Rated thruster on them, they just become complete bricks, and it's practically impossible to do anything with them. The Chieftain retains, surprisingly, some degree of agility in its overall performance. So I think we have our limpets, yes. We have our SCO. We have only half of the weapons we're supposed to have, but it doesn't matter because, again, we're trying to make a point here, so we're not trying to optimize or anything, so we're good to go. We have no shield because we don't need one. And let's see. It's probably 4 jumps with this little drive. If it's anything like the previous one, it's actually 3 jumps. Even better. Which we're going to get high predicted. And interdicted fuel is good. We're still mass locked. But let's jump away as soon as we aren't. There you go. Now, the biggest, most difficult, challenging thing with this ship is that it is slow. It is damn freaking slow. Like, it's boosting, as you can see, at like less than 300 meters per second. That is terrifyingly slow. And it's going to be an issue in high predictions that we get ourselves into, in interdictions to a lesser degree, because hopefully you're able to kind of boost away and get out of range even at that velocity and recharge your FSD if you submit. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But the velocity in the ship really is the key issue, and it will be also a limiting factor in regards to the then bombing activity that we're going to be performing. We will not be getting the 848 vents that we got on the previous ship. On this ship, I'm gonna aim for maybe 6 would be fantastic, but honestly, even if I get 5, I think we should call it a success. But again, let's see what we can do. And we're 2 jumps away. And let's see. Well, one thing I haven't checked is at what heat this ship idles at in a combat configuration, because I didn't. Let's see if I can still make the jump. Yep, I made it. Cool. This is one thing, is if you manage to maintain alignment even when you're interdicted, you will complete the jump and it will break the interdiction at that point. Yes, this ship cannot outrun any goal. It's can outrun pretty much anything, to be honest. Like, even an engineered gunship is faster than this thing, I think. So yeah, you're not outrunning anything. So forget about that. You have to joust. You have to fly the ship to get the hell out of trouble when you do get in trouble. And we will get in trouble, so we'll see how that goes. Now we're jumping into a Titan system. Now the percentage of high predictions to a Titan system, in my experience, is roughly 80%. So 4 out of 5 jumps into a Titan system, you get high predicted. So it's very common. It's rare to not be high predicted. If we don't, we'll take it. But if we do, we'll need to kind of joust it and see like how quickly we can dance around. Now the good thing about this build, which the other build doesn't really have, by the way, here we go, high prediction, is because we have no shield, we can use silent running. We can use silent running to mask our heat signature and avoid damage, which is not something that we normally would be able to do. Now, we have 2 interceptors to make our life even more complicated here on this incredibly slow ship. So let's see if we can. We are still at a reasonable distance. Now the problem with high prediction is the FSD cooldown is very long compared to when you're just normally interdicted. The plus side, though, is since you're high waking to a different system, is you don't have mass lock factor. But see how quickly Interceptor is closing distance on me. So I'm now flipping and hyperstick it off. I'm waiting until it's like at 2 kilometers or something, and then I'm going to boost past it. Because this is realistically the only way that I create a separation. And now I forgot to turn Silent Running on, but now I have. Are those two Basilisk, by the way? Like the worst possible high prediction that I could have asked for. Now we need to start popping heat sinks though, because like we are getting damaged. Alright, let's get charging here. Alright. This is essentially unavoidable. Like, you will take some degree of damage and high predictions when you have 2 Basilisks on your tail. And the E-Rated Chieftain. But again, we have repair inputs and FMUs, so we should be able to repair the damage to a reasonable degree once we do get close to TitanSpace. In regular interdictions, if I play my cards right, instead I should be able to not get wrecked in the way that I did during this high prediction, which was, again, probably the worst possible high prediction that this ship would face. Now, note we've, as I mentioned, put the Super Cruise override drive in here. Now, this thing runs very hot, but we're good. Now, what we're going to do while this thing goes back into its cooldown mode is we're going to change our frame per second and put a frame shift frame limit of 30, which is half of what I had earlier, because this is going to make us heat up a lot less. Because the game is good, and the amount of heat you generate... Oops, we got interdicted the moment we triggered our drive. So let's see how we handle interdictions now. We submitted. These are scouts. I actually don't know if scouts can mass lock the Chieftain, but we're going to find out pretty soon. Again, we'll pop heat sinks. There really is no reliable alternative. No, they can't. So good, we're out of here. Sign running is off. Alright, now we have 30 frames per second, and we can supercharge at reasonable levels of heat, hopefully. We should also be turning off things we don't need, which I kind of forgot to do to keep our heat lower, but we'll do that later. It's fine. And we got interdicted again. They don't want us to have this E-rated ship show its full potential. Alright, not that its potential is very high, but also, like, we are starting to get dangerously low on fuel. Fortunately, I think we will be able to get to 5 kilometers. Ooh, barely. We didn't get it to 5 kilometers by like 400 meters. That is so sad. Alright, now we have to joust to be able to do that. And wait. Now go silent running again. And boost. See if we can close 5 kilometers at this range, but probably not. We need to kind of wait until it goes to rearm to be able to do it. It's difficult to fight in the E-Rated Chieftain interceptors. Like, this is like one of the reasons this ship is such a great training ship, because it teaches you to joust, and it teaches you to also kind of like make the most of rearm windows. I'm waiting for a rearm window, but I haven't gotten one. Now I'm getting missiled. But hopefully I can dodge the missiles, which I did. See if I can reset the swarm while I'm at it. I think I did. Alright, now I'm getting too spicy for good measure. Oh, okay, now it's rearming. Oof, now we should be able to get the distance we need. We're out of heat sinks entirely, which is annoying. Alright, and off we go. Come on. Come on, there we go. Now, while we're here, we synthesize heatsink with the hope that we gonna get we're taking a beating. And we are, let's see if we can at least wait for our sinks to go through, otherwise we're gonna have a really rough ride. We did. Sinks are through. Alright, now we submit. Oh, never mind. We don't submit. We got interdicted proper. Alright. Siren running again. But we got sinks. So it's gonna take a while because this is a proper high prediction, so like we will see the range of the scouts. I think they're out of range where we can actually hit us. We got our sinks back for the second one, which is good. I don't think we can actually use these Super Cruise overcharge again. Well, at least we may be able to use it very briefly to kind of like boost ourselves into accelerating, but then we kind of really needed to turn it off. Otherwise we will run out of fuel. Let's see how we're doing on sinks. Yeah, we're fine. And again, interdicted. This is the most I've been interdicted since I've tried doing this. Alright, we got another interceptor on our tail. Let's see how much distance we can create. If it is anything like the previous one, we will not be able to get to 5 kilometers. Yep, we did not manage to get to 5 kilometers, so we will have to joust again. So let's joust. Let's joust. What are you? You're a Lowy Clops. Sign running. I will need to joust until it goes to rearm, unfortunately. Is it rearming? Hard to tell. Yeah, it's rearming now. Alright, now we'll be able to create the separation we need. Hopefully. Come on, come on. 4.7, 8, 9. Yes! And we're off. At this point, I don't know if I should even engage the Super Cruise or drive because it's gonna risk kind of getting me out of fuel, which would be an inglorious end to this mission. Let's use our AFMU to repair while we're at it though, because hopefully it should work. And return our our frames per second to a sustainable level. Alright. Since we don't need to engage the overcharge thing anymore. Alright. On approach, let's also repair some of our weapons that we're going to need, especially the nanite torpedo pylon is something we definitely need to repair, otherwise that thing is going to malfunction and it's going to screw with all the things we're doing over there. Again. I think that's a scout based on the icon. No, that's an interceptor. Again, I don't think we can get to 5 kilometers, even though barely there. That's annoying, but it is what it is. At least we're at 10 light seconds, so we're not that far from our destination. me. Oh, go to rearm. Nice. That was fast. I think I might be so fast that I didn't catch it in time, and yep, and I didn't manage to make the most of it, unfortunately. So I have to try again. Try again. The thing about not having a scanner is you can't quite really see when it's going to rearm just by looking at the scanner screen. Or in which direction it's rearming. Come on, go rearm. Shoot me and go rearm. Kind of like drifting at a pretty significant range, but I don't think we can get enough range even if we are at that range. Is it going to that direction? Where is it going? On my tail still. The thing is, when you're kind of orbiting at this angle and it's not shooting you, it will never go to rearm. It has to shoot you and it has to finish its shooting cycle for it to go rearm. Otherwise it will not go rearm. It's like one of the many bugs introduced in when they changed the aggro mechanic of the interceptors a while back. And now I'm out of heat sinks entirely, so now I have the option of cooking myself or just eating the damage. Or just seeing if we can actually get it to sort of like go rearm it finally. I have to eat the damage. I cannot cook. I continue boosting at the range. At this point, it's like my frameshift drive malfunction. I have to recharge it entirely. This is so deeply annoying. Alright. Let's see if we can synthesize some heat sinks while we're at it, since basically everything is malfunctioning. But hopefully my synthesis got interrupted the moment I started it. I don't really have a choice here. In order to kind of like get to charge, I have to create separation. I have to synthesize heat sinks. Can't see anything. Come on. Go rearm. Again, malfunction. My drive malfunction. But it went to rearm, so now I have a separation, so now I will be able to charge my drive as soon as like my drive comes back online. There you go. And charging. Now, again, the problem with that is we've taken a lot of heat damage, like a really, really massive amount of heat damage to the point where my cargo hatch is basically completely dysfunctional and ooh, and now I wasn't even looking, so we're gonna kind of overshoot this thing and go around it. And we gotta get interdicted again and again and again on the way in, and it's fine. Let's see if we can get there in one piece, which would be already quite a success. Alright, we got our one heatsink back. Fingers crossed I don't get interdicted again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop manually on the outskirts of a Titan if I manage, because I don't want to go straight in. Oh, again. Hopefully it's scouts this time. Come on, scouts. Oh yeah, fine. Thankfully. $7 millimeters to go. Almost there. Let's see if we can synthesize these heat sinks. And actually, you know what? Let's go straight in, because why not? Oh man, this is literally the most I've been interdicted ever in a Titan, in a run to a Titan. And obviously there's another interceptor now here at 590 kilometers distance. I mean, of all things. Let's see what we got. 4 kilometers. It was shooting at me, so that's good that it started shooting at me, because it means that it will trigger the countdown timer for the reboost thing. Go rearm. Go rearm. There you go. Alright. And for one, this was a much better escape. It's really a nasty run in, isn't it? See if we can actually get those heat sinks synthesized. And we made it. Alright. Now we have no repair limpets. None. Because all our cargo hatch malfunctioned. And we lost all our limpets. But we shall not be deterred. Let's turn off the things that we don't need. We certainly don't need a repair limpet controller with 0 limpets left. Let's get our... Alright, let's get our things in order. Frameshift drive off. Cargo hatch, which is completely blown anyway, goes off. Alright. AFMU is good. Let's repair stuff that we need to repair, especially this. And let's synthesize more heat sinks while we're at it. Alright, caustic is good. Torpedo piling is repairing. Second caustic sink is gone. Torpedo piling is repairing. Turn these, well, I could turn them on and off. It's like, I don't need it for now. And the caustic sink is gone. So this thing is so slow that we may need to synthesize caustic heat sinks, because I think we're gonna run out. Alright. Yes, we definitely need to do that. Alright, more heat damage, because obviously why not? We lost our hatch completely. This is synthesizing, so we should be good. Alright, rearmed just in time. But at least now we're through. This is repairing the most important module, which is the nanite torp, before we will run out of ammo. And where are the asteroids? Finally. We're out of AFMU. But we repair the Guardian Torpedo, which is really the only module that I wanted to repair. So we're good. On you go, on you go, on you go, off you go. Abrasion Blaster we can turn off. Everything else I think we need, kind of. TPN, though, not really anymore, but whatever. Gosh, this ship is slow. Anyway, we got in to do what we wanted to do, so now we're here. We have, I think, NPCs. That looks like an NPC Anaconda, I want to say. I wonder if they will repair me. I think they might. If there's T10s, they definitely will. But we shall see. Doesn't matter if they do or they don't. So now we're running at 36%, which is also very hot. And let's get all our heat sinks back, since we'll need them. Everything else kind of looks good. Con is approaching me, I think. Yeah. I don't know if... No, it's going its own way. Scouts are launching, so I stay clear of those. We got our sinks back. We're too far to start a bombing run, but let's switch to bombing. Fire group. .234 military power. Real slow. But we made it. We are in our initial bombing position. Do I have my missiles? Yes. Alright, cool. Here we are. Nice and cool. Well, 34%. But the Titan is in green state, though it doesn't particularly matter right now. Vents are coming open. I hear the sound. Where's the event behind me? Too far. Let me get closer to that one. Again, the goal here is maybe 6 vents, if I'm lucky. Alright, I think we're good here. In position. Energy surge. Counted. That was an NPC triggering a patrol, I think. Alright, off we go. With our E-rated thrusters. Oh man. This is funny. Oh, I can't even boost. About every half an hour. Alright, I think this is probably the last 2 vents I'll be able to get. If I get that one, I'm happy. And then I go down, because like, it's going to take me time to get down anyway. Alright. Down we go. Ooh. This thing is so unmaneuverable, but here we are. Good. Go for the Explorer Core. We got... Heat is under control. And here's the core coming. Missiles away. Now we only have half of the weapons that we're supposed to have, but it is what it is. We said we're gonna do it this way, so missiles are malfunctioning too because of a beautiful experience coming in. Oh, beautiful, right? But look at this. I mean, we are already at like 10% and more. Like we did 12% with the FDEV Chieftain. All right, this is 12%. Same thing with half the weapons. I think we proved our point. The E-Rated Chieftain wins. Yay! Alright, now we have to get out of here. 193k. I remember, I think we did 200 and something with the other one. Let's see if we can do like as much. I'll have to kind of boost away and get away from the scouts. I have no way to repair unless I synthesize limpets, which I kind of don't particularly want to do. But for the sake of argument and for the benefit of science, I might consider making the exception and actually synthesizing heat sinks, something I almost practically never do. But since it was such a pain to get in here, might as well. Alright, let's pull, like, let's actually... Oof. Those caustics inbound. And this scout's still on my tail, so I'm not going to synthesize anything for the time being. So what I'm also going to do, I'm also going to empty my clips, so that I start with full clip next time I go for a bombing run. I need to turn off this thing so I don't start all over again. There we go. I managed to kind of avoid missiles. Nice. Caustic missiles. Modules malfunctioning. Let's see if I can actually repair these. Ah, come on. Where's my FMU? Here. Fine. Let's also supply some FMU and repair some stuff while we're here. Again, this is for science. Where's limpets down here? Rearmed, but I'm not repairing. Why I'm not repairing? Because it's not on. That's why it's not repairing. Alright, we got limpets, but we deactivated our repair module, so I can't use it. So I have to reactivate it. We're also close to a mine, which is not good for our health. Did it turn on? There you go. Alright. Let's see how much we repair with one repair limpet. Now what we want to repair, MRPs doesn't matter. I mean, we're all kind of semi-shot anyway. What we want to repair is our weapons more than anything. Probably the heat sinks too, but like if heat sinks malfunction, it's not the end of the world. They also, for whatever reason, I find that they rarely malfunction, so maybe we'll fix them if we have enough ammo and the FMU anyway. Vents are coming open, but we're in no position to bomb, so we're not gonna bomb. I mean, the key thing is look at how much more of a Class 5 repair limpet controller, even an E-rated repair limpet controller repairs. Cargo hatch is broken, but it doesn't matter. If you don't take additional damage, you're not going to lose the limpets, and even if we lose 4 limpets, who cares? But we're not going to get shot, so we're not going to lose the limpet. We're actually going to use the limpets. So the fact that the cargo hatch is completely shot doesn't particularly matter. The fact that the weapons are shot, though, does matter, because they were malfunctioning and they were giving me less damage on the core, which is why I am here in the first place. So that I actually want to make sure it doesn't happen again. How many vents did I get on the previous run? 5, I think? I think 5. Let's see if I can do 5 also on this run. Alright, heat sinks are back, which is good. The thing about having NPCs in the instance that kind of drives me insane is that they aggro patrols. So they turn the Titan in red alert, which is what happened just now, which in turn spawns moles. So not only are NPCs entirely useless, they are actively sabotaging your Titan runs while you're down here, which kind of just massively sucks. We have to boost away because we got a scout hitting us, which is in turn limiting the repair we can get, because it kind of chips. Makes the repair limpet fail. Are my weapons back? Not yet. E-rated FMUs are really bad. Oh well. My fuel, oh yeah, my fuel is gonna be enough for what I'm doing here, and plus this is a one-way trip, so I appreciate the call out, Alex, but I'm gonna be okay. I think. I should have another tank in here. Alright, we got 1 repaired, and let's see how high we can get the second missile rack. I'm not synthesizing additional FMU. Not happening. And then we get ourselves in position. Hopefully by then it'll go back to green. Hopefully. Although I doubt it, considering what NPCs are doing. We'll see. There's also a scout that's really interested in following me for some reason. Maybe I can lead it to a mine and see if it can hit a mine. Oh wait, Fargoids can trigger mines, and they take a massive amount of damage if they hit mines. Because they have no resistance to corrosive damage, which is, to caustic damage, is what mines do. That scout on my tail is something else. Oh, now I got caustic missiles from the Titan proper. We gotta boost and get the hell out of here now. See if I can seek refuge around asteroids. I'm okay, I have enough caustic sinks to tank those missiles even if they hit me, but I just will try not to get hit. But I'm getting hit. And I lost my limpet as part of the process, which is actually a more annoying part. Alright, missiles are down. Vents are open again, but we can't really. The sun is 82%. Well, hopefully above 80. I think the chances of malfunction are much lower. So hopefully we're gonna be okay. All right. Let's see if we can get ourselves back into position to bomb for the next run. See, stay away from that patrol to the left, top left, which I see, which I think I should be able to. Yep. Cool. managed to dodge it. Navigate my way around the mines. Alright. Getting to position to bomb. Might as well actually get to a safe spot probably. Until I hear like they start coming open again. Since I'm gonna wait a full cycle, which is a few minutes. Sounds of those two mines next to me is unnerving at this heat level. Alright. Bombing configuration, and we're back at almost full health, which is nice. Our weapons are above 80%, which is nice. There's a Klops launching, but it's going the other way, so it doesn't matter. This is a safe spot. As you can see down here, it's the safe spot, but this ship is very slow, and I don't want to put it in there and have to pull it out all there while listening to the sound of the vents. I prefer hanging out up here. This gets me to a better position to begin my bombing run. Once I do begin the bombing run. There's something behind me. I hope it's not a patrol. It's a patrol on my tail, and there's missiles freaking everywhere now. And vents are coming open the moment we start talking about this, which kind of really sucks. I have to trigger a heatsink now, otherwise I'm going to take a real beating. But thankfully, I gotta manage myself to get moving at a decent pace. Like, which is not kind of perfect, but it's not a bad start either. 2. 3. 4. This is actually a really good run. 5. 6. Let's see if I can hit the 7. That'd be really cool if I did. No, I got 6. Well, still. Very proud of my 6. I'll take it. Let's stout down. We're going to be late to a party, unfortunately, since we tried for that 7, which maybe we shouldn't have in hindsight. But it is what it is. Alright, firing away. Hopefully nothing malfunctions. Complete out of heat sinks. I'm gonna take a beating after I start overheating, which I inevitably will. Hopefully we get another round. Oh no, 12% like in the previous round. Oh well. Let's see, you should be able to get the same kind of like 200 or so. Yeah, 185. So, I mean, look, this is with half the weapons. And half the weapons of the joke ship, which hasn't gotten here. And I might just let myself explode since we're kind of like done here. Which I think kind of proves my point of like the whole conversation around what is viable and what makes sense. Like, you can do these 200,000 credit per cycle bombing runs with even this piece of junk E-Rated Chieftain, and I agree, that was a really good run. Getting 6 vents, almost 7 on that ship. I did not think I was going to be able to do that. Yeah, it kind of worked, so we'll take it. Also, it is a situation where I kind of arrived in with like the worst possible luck in terms of interdictions on the way there. And as you can tell, I'm not all that familiar with flying the E-Rated. I haven't done it in a long time, so my evasions and sort of like ability to joust the interceptor and create separation of them when it goes to reload is not what it used to be. I used to be able to very consistently get away without taking the shameful amount of damage which I took my way in these cases. And just for the sake of, again, showing the build here, this is the build with just 2 missile racks. These are not even the serious missile racks. These are the regular enhanced missile racks, which are not pre-engineered and you just buy for credit. So no materials went into making this ship. Actually, the only materials that went into making this ship, because you kind of had to, were the ones that were before the Class 1 Gauss, which, by the way, we don't even have. So it's actually fair to say no materials whatsoever went into the making of the ship. Zero. All the caustic sinks are engineered. This is all bought for credits. This is all stuff that is all bought for credits. And it's, by the way, the worst in slot module for everything, except for the Super Cruise overcharged module, which for Haddad is kind of necessary. Because if we got interdicted that many times with the overcharge drive, good luck going 30,000 light seconds without. And everything else, again, is completely E-rated. So, look, we've proven the point, which viable for bombing run, even a piece of complete garbage, right, is completely viable. And the question about whether it's low power, no, the heat efficiency of the E-rated plant is awful. But the thing about E-rated is that everything consumes also very little power. So you have 16.8 megawatt of capacity. I don't have half of the weapons that I'm supposed to on this build. By the way, by this point, I think the joke should have made it here. So we could try this again if we're really masochistic with actually the full complement of weapons that this ship was intended to originally have. Let's see if a joke has arrived. Yes, it's here. So the question is, who exactly is going to buy it? This activity is far from novice, and someone who have experience to even get there going to have money for a proper build. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, first of all, I like to fight the notion that I am against pre-made builds. I think they're a good thing. I hate engineering in this game. I think it's a complete and massive waste of time. And so if you're willing to monetize skipping the grind to go and farm core dynamic composites or some other garbage piece of material, then I'm all for it. I mean, they need some revenue stream in this game, and some people will want to pay to skip the grind. What I'm against is those pre-made builds being nonsensical, like the one that we're talking about here, which I have made a pink, like, Titan kitted version of the ship, which, as you can see, I think is aptly named from how I feel about this build. So yeah, I mean, some people might still think that it's a good thing and they like it, and the no rebuy is attractive, and the G5 drives are still pretty good. So sure, I mean, some people will buy it. I mean, it's also, the question is also how expensive is it going to be. If it's a 200 arcs thing, then sure, you know, go ahead, knock yourself out, build a chieftain around it if you want. If it's 20,000 arcs like the preview of the Python Mark II, then I just cannot see how you could possibly justify buying a pre-built with arcs of this quality. What I would like to see is, I would like to see a pre-made build that actually makes sense. So it has, for example, at least G1 engineering long range on the beam with thermal vent, which is why you have a beam in the first place, right? And it leaves room to upgrade. You can go from G1 has 3,600 meters range, so just north of half of the G5 version, which is 6 kilometers. So it leaves plenty of room to upgrade, but at least it's something that out of the box gives you something that is actually functional. Because like what I haven't shown you here is the night and day difference of a well-made build in TitanSpace combat, and just like, I mean, I could, I guess, like, at that point I'd probably show you a crate instead of like even the Chieftain, which is not the ideal version of a Titan Bomber, but there's plenty of videos where I've done it, so I don't think I need to repeat it at this point in time. What I was trying to do is I was trying to pull out the only two things that I wanted to get from the joke, which are these two AGF engineered. These are the only materials that I actually spent materials for. And I also want to pull out the G5 drive of this thing, because that was the one good piece, and the 5C module, because those were two good pieces of this otherwise complete nonsensical ship. Where did it go? Thrusters. Store. Alright. so we pulled out all the stuff that matters from the joke. And this is... I'm kind of now curious to see like how the ship would have done, the E-Rated Chieftain would have done if I had all the weapons that I was supposed to have. Yeah, the ID for the ship, I think I called it, what did I call it? MX. Like, we have a standardized naming convention for Xeno Strike Force ships, although calling the ship a Xeno Strike Force ship is offensive because it doesn't follow our livery and uniform standards, but it was kind of like, again, it's a joke, so consider it the joke that it is. But I should sell the hauler here, which got me here. Because we don't need it, and we have way too many ships on the carrier. Anyway. What was I looking for? Oh yes, the skill issue. The Xeno skill issue. Yeah, and Damien, I completely agree with you. Like, give some L1, L3 stuff. Like, you know, put those drives to G3 if you must, but give people a G3 low emission plant. I mean, that is a night and day difference. Like, if there's one thing that's missing on their ship, is low emissions power plant thermal spread. Like, that's the night and day difference that, I mean, would really kind of make the build if they did. Well, there's a few others that, again, are nonsensical, but what can you do? So, where was the Guardian without the anti-Guardian zone active? There you go. Anti-Guardian zone resistance active. So, like, with these two additional weapons, kind of almost feeling like I have to go back in and do this again just for the sake of showing that this thing will do more damage than the FDEV Chieftain with its proper weapons. Let's see if there's anything else that I should have here. This is all E-rated. Should we do another run with this complete another piece of junk, also to show that, like, it's a repeatable process? Or maybe we can. He's launcher. Fine. Let's try again. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Let's get our limpet. Hopefully this time we can do more reliable set of flybys. And this goes to number 2 here. Do I want to put a fuel tank on this thing? It's okay. I don't even have fuel tanks, I think, on my carrier. Maybe I do. I think I might actually have fuel tanks. I'm trying to think about getting a fuel tank being more effective than many of the power reinforcement packages that I was using. And we have our usual free jumps. If the question is if we received... Oh, I need to tell my job. If the question is if we received the decal from the destruction of Oya, the answer for me is yes, I did. Both the ship kit and the module and the decal. Alright, this is now back active, so off we go. Yeah, and I mean, I'm also going to buy the Python Mark II with the early access thing. And honestly, I mean, some people are gonna disagree with me and feel differently in absolutely, you know, legitimate sense. But look, in my view, this game needs more revenue streams badly. I mean, if this game makes no additional revenue, this game is going to die. And I don't want it to die. I want it to continue going for years to come. And the only way that's going to happen is if they are able to pay the people that work and maintain and sustain this game. It's not just the service, it's also the people who are continuing to bring content to this game. So I'm quite supportive of them selling things like early access to ships. Oh man. I'm less supportive about being interdicted over and over and over again. That I'm a lot less supportive of. Let's see if I can get myself to escape, or if I have to. Did it get through? Did it go through? Tell me it went through. Ah, dang. I have to submit. submit. But this one I think is a quick one and without the mass lock factor, so I should be able to get out quickly from this one. Yeah. These ones are not a problem. Can you briefly explain your HDR display settings? Have you considered the 4K QD OLED monitors? I am using an OLED monitor. I'm using Alienware AW some weird code monitor, which is an OLED monitor and which runs in HDR. So yes, there's no explicit setting for HDR in Elite Dangerous. It just uses the auto HDR feature in Windows, which works okay, I guess. I mean, oof. Again, 2 of these. Like, I am not being lucky in this ship, in this run. And the least. I also kind of like agitated a swarm, which kind of is a very bad thing for my health. Alright, one goes to rearm. Hopefully we can get the other one to rearm. More importantly, hopefully we don't get hit by those missiles, because that would really suck. Yeah, we managed to avoid the missiles. Are we still 2 jumps away? Oh man, we're still 2 jumps away. And by the way, Damien, AXI is open access, so if you want to join the Anti-Xeno Initiative, you don't even need to apply, you just need to join their Discord. It's a Xenostrike 4 set, it is by application only. So that one requires you to actually put in a request. Let's see if we can repair stuff. Where's my AFMU? It's off, of course. Of course, turn it off. Let's see if we can actually get some heat sinks by the way back while we charge hard disk or more if we get interdictum or anything. Well, let's see. I actually don't think that synth went through. Oh yeah, the speed is really the key issue. Number 1, number 2, or number 3 on the ship. Somehow we made it through to TitanSpace, so I guess the fact that we are just hyperdicted maybe played a role, I don't know. But anyway, system map. Oh yeah, Haddad. Alright, let's get ready to overdrive. Boom! And we got interdicted the moment we hit that thing. And by the way, I think it's gonna drag me out. Oh, I managed to submit. That's good. What does it take to get the trophies in the cockpit? Sorry, 1 second. I might need a second to see here if I can get out of range just by boosting, which the answer is probably no. Alright. And I just need to... I need a second here to survive what's gonna happen to me right now, which is not gonna be pleasant. I went to rearm, but I'm too close in range. I don't think I'm going to be able to create 5 separation. 5. Yeah, I don't think I didn't do it. This is not good. One more sync left. Go rearm in the other direction. Go rearm. Nope, it didn't. I'm gonna overheat to oblivion. Oh, finally. Whew. Still gonna overheat because I'm getting the links, but I actually managed to get. So what I'm gonna do here, by the way, is I am going to drop to normal space because it's a long story why I'm doing this, but there's a reason, there's a specific reason why I'm doing it. And while I'm at it, I might actually pop a repair input and repair myself while stuff is gonna be coming away. By the way, capacity exceeded. What? Turning my weapons off? How dare you? Well, I'm gonna turn this off afterwards. But for now, this is what we need for the sake of repairing stuff. So let's actually repair stuff. Oh, wow. Alright. I know there's a lot of questions in the chat. Let me just get myself a chance to repair a ship to a decent amount, and then I will answer them. Alright, we're getting back to fighting shape. This is the most important thing to repair. Alright, caustics are back. Life support can stay at 99, PD can stay at 98, drive can stay at 98. This should go back to 100. We're back to 100% hull. Alright, we're back in fighting shape. We have a frame shift anomaly, so let's get the hell out of here. Oh man, already disrupted. See if we can get quickly out of here. I should be able to. Alright, I got it. I was able to. Now I need to sensitize heat sinks, engage my overcharge thingy. I forgot my frame rate is uncapped, so I overheat myself immediately. This is another thing which is like just shouldn't be happening in the game, but it is what it is. Did it set? Yeah. Alright. Now we should not overcharge. Look at the difference. I got overcharged in like 3 seconds, and now I am not overcharging at all. Well, I will eventually, but like half an hour later. Alright. Did I get heat sinks? Yeah, I did. Let's get some more heat sinks. Oh, yeah, man. Yes, Mark, frame rate affects how much heat is generated. I know it's pathetic and ridiculous, but it's true. Like, if you cap your frame rate, you get a very small fraction of the total heat generated. I'm getting hit, which is annoying. Come on, come on. Off we go. So someone was asking what it takes to get the bobbleheads. Those are awards for winning the leaderboards. What you need to do to win them is you need to end up and, well, if you want the 3-star gold one, you need to essentially come in first in a particular category of the leaderboard. So if you, for every like season, there's like a ranking with leaderboards, and the #1 ranked squadron at the end of the season, all the squadron members at the active time get a corresponding squadron bobblehead. You get 1-star bronze for placing third, you get 2 stars silver for placing second, and you get 3 stars gold for placing first. The ones you see here, there's a Fargoid bobblehead on the left, which is the one that you actually craft at a materials trader. Then there's the Anti-Xeno Combat, second from left, bobblehead for coming in first in the Anti-Xeno ranking of the season. And then there's Combat on the third one from left, so to the right of the dashboard. And then the final one, the rightmost, is exploration. That's exploration. Going in exploration first. Alright, there's another interceptor behind us. How are we doing on sinks? I think we're good. Sinks are good. So it's good that he shot me, because shooting me starts the countdown timer, which in turn should give me more time to get the hell out when I do pass him in a second right now. We're gonna need a few heat sinks to make this work regardless. Shoot me! Or go at least get the hell out of there. Where are you? There you go. There you go. Rearm, 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 rearm. Keep rearming, keep rearming. Go, 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 go. Boost! Boost, boost, boost! Come on! Oh, that boost was so late. That ship is so freaking slow. See if it turns the rearm. Nope, not clear. Not even this time. I'm all sinks. It's incredibly annoying. But I think I should be able to clear this time. Yeah, I'll clear this time. Come on, go. Alright, there we go. Heat sinks, heat sinks, please, heat sinks. Knock on wood, we're almost there. Yeah, a joke about GPU power, more heat's funny one. Ah! Oh, Ragav, you were the one who were asking about how to create separation with such a slow ship, right? So yeah, now this is a bit of an example how to do it. And yes, it's very weird that anything is tied to frames per second, but it is. Let's see if we can get the second round of heat sinks before we drop. I don't think we will do it in time, but we'll try. If not, we'll do it when we do drop. Oof, we managed to get in clean. Alright, in we go. Let's get a repel input on us. Let's see if there's other stuff we need to repair while we are at it. There's actually a bunch of stuff we need to repair while we are at it. Where's my caustic sinks? There you go. Oh, we're gonna need to synthesize caustic heat sinks, by the way, while we're at it, which kinda sucks, but it is what it is. It's the nature of the game with this such a slow ship. Gotta be careful with the caustic mines, because, like, again, your heat signature is colossal and is boosting heat level. That's one thing you don't want to repair. That's one thing you want to turn off. That's one thing you do want to repair. Everything looks good, though. Where's the cargo hatch? Cargo hatch. Can't see it. And now I'm not paying attention, taking caustic damage. But, oh, there it is. Insufficient power. Good. Should be off. You should be off, too. And weapons should be on. Alright, cool. We got power, again, which is good. Stuff that should be off is off. Stuff that should be repaired is repaired. And we're going in. Life is good. We should repair these things while we're at it. So let me actually do this. Turn the FMU back on for a moment and fix my MRPs. It's the kind of thing that you don't want to die at the wrong moment. Alright, I'm putting my pips free and free so that I'm not going to be too tight on the timing of this thing. And here we go. I do need heatsink here for sure. A boost to keep going. Boost, boost, boost. There we go. I also need caustic sinks again here, I think. Alright. Did I repair the things I wanted to repair? Yes, they're all good. This stuff doesn't matter, this stuff is fine, this stuff doesn't really matter. Alright, let's go back to proper power groups, and we're good to go. Alright, this time we had better luck going in terms of interdiction, and we had better skill in evading the interdictions we got in, as I had finally a bit of practice with the ship. Now we can also switch, well, we could have done it also earlier, but I forgot. So now we can switch back our display to non-awful frame rate. Ah, so much better. They're saying, all the tubers who cry that it was pay to win obviously never seen pay to win, and they're trying to doom tube. Yeah, no, I don't think this build is pay to win at all. Yeah, I mean, well, this build, I think the E-Rated Chieftain, I think they should sell the E-Rated Chieftain as a pre-build. It's like an amazing training ship. It's humbling flying the ship, and it teaches you so much. As I said, I genuinely believe, I'm not memeing, I genuinely believe it is the best training ship for anti-casino combat, for the number of reasons I was explaining about earlier. If you go check the thread where we first started talking about the X build, is actually a suggestion where the commander didn't want people being able to pay their way into a full build. I mean, again, suggestions are fine so long as they're not completely nonsensical, right? Suggestion that has a research limpet controller with no pulse wave xeno scanner and no corrosion resistant cargo rack is not a good suggestion. It's a build mistake. It's not a, I don't want a pay-per-win ship. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing because I don't play the game, or I kind of not even thinking about it. So, like, anyway, I'm a bit salty about that, as you can tell, which is not usually me, but that's just such a glaring, why would you ever do that thing, that I'm like, meh, that should not have happened, but my 2 cents. Alright, we're not in the ideal position from a bombing run perspective, but if we can get some velocity going, we might be able to get a decent start anyway. Let's see if we can get up higher and further inside, which we need to be to kind of do a good run. Yeah, we kind of did. Good. We're in a decent position to start a run. Off to races. And any second now. Come on. Come on. Red alert. Alright, good start, good start, good start. Two. 3. 4. 5. I'm just doing 6. I'm not going for 7 this time. And 6. And now we go down, down, down. Alright, this time we are making better time since we're not greedy to try and go 7 through 7, 7 through 8. Let's see if we can also synthesize some heat sinks too. Alright, fire, fire, fire. I forgot how to fire gauss. and we beat the record of the FDEV ship. That was the only thing I wanted to do. Let's see how much money we got. Just still not a lot, but it's gonna be fine. I also didn't know what I was doing, guys. I'll do one more run. 240, yes, 240. That is the record of a trash build. The record of a trash build. Alright, now let's repair ourselves a bit. See how we're doing on weapons. Torpedo enabled. What was I trying to do? I was trying to repair stuff. Am I in a position to repair stuff? Yes, I am actually. Ah, too close to a mine. I might hit a mine. Oof, I managed to dodge that missiles magically. Alright, let's repair stuff. Let's repair all weapons, and since since we need them badly. That is Scout caustic missile that somehow disappeared. Alright, weapons are coming back online. Weapons are good. Did we repair everything I needed? Oh, this, yes. Alright. Let's do also 4% of that one. Now I turn this off. Oh well. Oh, that was not what I wanted to turn offline, but still. Alright, we're back at 100% hull. We are back at 100% MRPs in a second, which means we are probably good to go back to a bombing position. Is that a glaive launcher? No, it's scouts. I wait, see if we can keep away from them. So, I think we're good, yeah. Alright, this is not the most ideal start, but what are we gonna do? We're still aiming for 6, not 7. We are very far from a good start in this case. Come on. Boost the ship, boost the ship. I think we'll be able to get 5 maybe. Not even 4. See if we can get some heat sinks back while we get ourselves in position here. Again, this is not my best firing, but hopefully it's decent enough. Not too bad. $200. Again, let's see if we can beat what we're doing with the FDEV ship, also in aggregate. I'll do one more pass. If we do that, that should be more than enough. We need heat sinks. We need more heat sinks. Alright, let's lose some of those guys in the asteroids. Weapons check. Probably good. Torp is good. Torp is good. So we're all good. Titan missiles incoming. Let's see if we can lose them in the asteroid field. Did my synth get interrupted? I guess it did. Evasive maneuvers. Flight assist off. One hit me, but I dodged the other ones. But I'm not gonna dodge this asteroid. So that hurt more than the missiles. Ah! I was also gonna hit a mine. That was not exactly a great evasive maneuver. But it's also not too bad. By the way, someone was saying you need ECM for these. ECM does not work on these. Like, the counter to this is caustic sinks, which I have. And honestly, I shouldn't be too worried about caustic at all, but whatever. I'm more worried about them interrupting my synthesis of heat sinks and my repairs, but let's see how it goes. Boom, boom, boom. This is interrupting everything. Now I'm taking a lot of caustic even for the number of caustics I have available. That's not ideal. And more importantly, I'm not able to synthesize my heat sinks, which means I can't get ready get back in action. I think it's gone back to green or yellow. What color is it? I don't know if you guys can see it. I know it's not orange, or it does not look orange at least. There's scouts launching from that tube, and so I don't want to go in that direction. There's also scouts in that direction, so I'm going to go down this way. See if we can get the second set of links. Alright, this looks good. Are missiles full? Missiles are full. Alright. We're getting back to being in a bomber position ready. A bomber ready position. I think that's yellow. Yellow alert. Yeah, now it's back in red alert. Somebody saw me. The scout over there saw me. That's what happened. Vents are coming open, but with missiles in the air, I can't go bomb. I need to kind of like go for a little tour. More caustic. Oh man. Alright, vents are open, but I am in no position to bomb. That's an Orphos down over there. More things are shooting at me. Let's see if I can get to my safe spot down there at this point. Or at least have it, boom, explode harmlessly over there. I have a few sinks left, so I'm gonna be okay. Something still has me locked on, probably the scout behind me, which means I am getting blasted over here. Fortunately, those turrets have like stormtrooper level accuracy. I boost at this point. It's not like 50% heat is gonna make a difference. There's 46% heat. I need to lose those scouts and get myself to a safe spot. Vents are coming open again, I think. If they do, I will just go at this point for a bombing run. There's a patrol over there too, by the way. I need to pop a heat sink, otherwise my tank is not gonna last. Vents are open. I'm not in an ideal position, but if I can, yes, good. All right, this went better start than it looks like. Trust me. 2. 3. 4. 5. One more. Ooh, a glaive. And 6. And that's it. And down we go. Alright, come out. I'm feeling good about this run. Alright, I think this one takes the cake. But we're not going to see how much it is because we exploded at the end. But this was the best run, I think, ever on this ship, which I think was good for 17%. So, I don't know, something like 250, 260k is what it's going to be. And this is a 1 million rebuy ship, as you can see. So 1 million rebuy ship, which for a chieftain is almost pretty much as low as it gets, or close to it. Check Dania B, last to explain Titan bond totals. How these single attacks aggregate to Titan kill. Somehow don't get that mechanic. It is some percentage based and you have to run hundreds of times. Well, roughly yes. So basically, the way it works is every heart of a Titan is worth 22 billion in bonds, in combat bonds. And the amount of bonds you receive per each cycle is capped at the 100% value of the thermal core that is extracted on that cycle. It's also further multiplied by the damage resistance of a Titan. So if a Titan has basically 0 systems left, then it's completely vulnerable, and you will do the most damage, which is many times the amount of damage that you would do if you were to fight it just at a very high resistance or extremely high, or even max. I don't even remember what we are at in terms of Haddad. Haddad is, well, let's go see what Haddad's damage resistance is. I think it might still be max. Yeah, sometimes it's bugged and it doesn't load, and then you have to wait for a moment to load, and when you go back in, it kind of shows up. Like, again, one of the beauties of how things work or how things don't work. Right. Yeah, it's not showing it. I think it's actually still at max, but yeah, I was waiting for a bond amount to show up too, but again, you saw from the percentage damage done to her core, I think it was 17%. Like, it went back in at 83% or so. So you can do the math based on that and see what the bond amount value is. I can actually pull it up from the log if you want. I think it's saved in the journal file. Let me see if I can actually find it in the journal file. If I remember where the journal file was. Program files. Frontier. And actually it's not there. I think it's somewhere under user or something. Users. Journal. Found the journal. This is the journal for this session. Let's see what they say about my bond. Bond. Search for bond. Let's see, are them combo bonds. I think it's something called Power Federation. Click to the bottom, go up. Combo bonds, profits. Oh, that's a different one. I don't even remember what it's called. I mean, if you're looking at the numbers, I think I have them on a Google Sheet somewhere here. Hold on, I can show you. I need to switch a few things around, but I'll show you in a sec. There we go. Where is Corchio's data? Here it is. So this is the data, I think. Yeah, it should be showing correctly. This is the data for how much you get in each cycle. So maximum resistance, each thermal core is worth 1.8 million. At completely vulnerable, as you can see, it's almost 29 million. So the amount of bonds that you get per cycle goes up almost dramatically based on the damage resistance of a Titan and how that decreases itself. The total bonds per heart and consequently the total bonds per Titan does not change. It's 22 billion per heart and it's 176 billion per Titan as a whole. So that's how it works. Hopefully this gives you an idea. So at maximum damage resistance, if you were to attack the Titan directly, you would have to destroy 12,200 cores to take down each heart. But if you did so when it was completely vulnerable, that number would be below 800. Which is why people wait until it is at a sort of reasonable value before they hit it. And then let's see if there are other questions. I think it's 2 million or more total. Suboptimal ship was able to manage 2 million per run. Well, 2 million per run, I haven't seen 2 million on a max damage resistance. I've seen it on higher, on lower damage resistances, obviously. But if you've seen 2 million on max, I would love to see it because obviously that contradicts this data, which means that this data is wrong. But again, I haven't seen it. So if you have it, by all means, please do share it. I was waiting for a bond. Again, I have a journal file here, but I'm trying to remember what it's called, what the bond message is called. I think it's called award or something. No, it's not award. It's called Fargoid bond or something, but it's not going to be. Wait, what is it called? Oof. Bond, Power Federation bond. No, this is combat bond profit. Combat bonds. Let's see if it does show something that it's kind of usable here. I'm not showing this because obviously it has a bunch of stuff, including account IDs and IP addresses, so bear with me. Under attack. Down below, galaxy map cost, buy ammo. God, this is my rebuy. I kind of exploded. Same as this. And this is when I died. Synthesis, cargo launch drone, hull damage. This is me dying. Hull repaired. This is synthesis. Hull repair. I can't find in the journal the actual log value of all the bonds, so I can't quite tell you. But again, it was in the 230 to 260 range based on that 17% that we saw. All right. I'll close this log, and this we don't need. Going back to our game. So this is it. I think there's only one thing left to do on this stream, which is to look at our ship roster, take the XSF joke, and where is it? There you go. And throw it into a pile of garbage where it belongs. I should do it, but honestly, I'll keep it in case people are gonna ask. I know people are gonna ask, gonna test additional stuff, and to just take the ship out for a spin or explain how does it does against interceptors or in XCZs and the likes. I'm gonna keep it, but reluctantly because I don't think this ship is any good. But since people are gonna ask about it, it will stay in my hangar for the time being. Noting I have one spot left in my hangar, so the ship will soon be sold to make space for more meaningful ships overall. And happy to answer any other questions if there's questions on the stream. You're welcome, Damien. Oh, there's a precise amount, 208.09. That's a good point. Let me see if I can actually control F it. You're absolutely right. 208.09. 200 with a comma 809. No, that doesn't show up. Neither one shows up. So unfortunately, at least the journal doesn't seem to have the bond. I wonder if a netlog has the bond. Does netlog have bonds? Netlog might have bonds. Where is the netlog folder again? It's in a different place. Why is everything in a different place? But oh, I found it. It's here. I found the netlog. I actually have it in a quick save folder. Let me actually see if I can find that value in here. No, can't find the value either. And no, I can't find anything in the netlog either. Is there something about award or bond? Anyway, I thought it was, if I remember, it was in the journal, not in the netlog. But again, I can't find anything as always. I was looking for the bond award for damaging the thermal core, but I couldn't find it in the journal file. At least not at a quick scan. Skybolt, it's very nice to hear. It's fun. It's like once you get, your feet wet and you have a general understanding of how things work so that you kind of don't get shredded over and over again without any idea of why you're getting shredded, it's actually quite entertaining. It's probably the hardest activity in Elite Dangerous, but like most things that are hard, it's also probably the most satisfying to master. So I'm glad you got into it yourself. Again, let's see if there were other questions. I think Damien B, I've answered your question about the total and how it all works in terms of bonds and the like. We're talking about vents, and yes, I don't think I might be able to get on like a perfect run 7 vents on the E-Rated Chief, but it comes at the price of being on target on time, which kind of defeats the purpose of getting an additional vent. So I think sticking to 6 vents with this beautiful build is probably the way to go. It's like talk about Star Citizen. I don't know. I've never played Star Citizens. Maybe I should. Who knows? But I kind of always found that their monetization model, where they actually sold access to ships upfront for cash, was not something I saw myself kind of getting myself into. So I didn't particularly embrace that. We talked about the AX build suggestion and why I thought that it's a bad suggestion and that they should make a better suggestion. Let's talk about the Panther Clipper. Yeah. I'll believe it when I see it when there's talk about the Panther Clipper since there's been talks about the Panther Clipper like since freaking forever. Um, Event bounty rewards. Let's see if we can find that one. Bounty. Bounty hunting profit. Oh, that's a different thing. Highest bounty. Bounty hunting profit. No, it's not bounty, at least not in this file. Let's see if it's reward. Reward. Highest single reward. It's a bunch of stuff related to rewards, which are the in-game rewards. Tieback starter reward bumper. Now, this is me flying with a ship kit of a decal of a reward, but no, there's no, at least not in this journal file, but I think this is the right one I'm looking at. Yeah. For some reason, I couldn't find it. Like, thank you for suggestions, though. Appreciate it, Robert. Thanks. I'm blocked what. Glad it was helpful as well. I mean, as you saw from this video, right? I mean, if I can get almost 1 million in bonds on an E-rated chieftain with no engineering whatsoever, it's probably not the hardest activity that you could fathom. But again, I do have some time in the saddle, so I wouldn't suggest or recommend that other people do what I've been doing here. Um, no, I did this to kind of make the point in the argument for people who were basically saying, the build is viable, the build is viable. Like, sure, build is viable. I mean, so is the E-rated chieftain. It's probably more viable based on what we've shown here. So the argument that that pre-built version is fine because it's viable, to me, doesn't hold water. They should have made a better one, and that's what they should have sold as a pre-built. Again, I'm not suggesting that they build a fully engineered G5 Chieftain or anything, or Crate, because I get it. They want people to sort of leave some room for improvement, enhancement, and overall just bettering their builds. But again, they're just so many. They're just build mistakes. It's not like you can justify them in any meaningful way. Say, I want people to try using a research Olympiad. Great. Then give them a pulse wave xenoscanner so they can actually try it on the Titan. Otherwise, they can't. So what's the point? And give them a corrosion-resistant cargo rack so they can actually bring back what they sample. Otherwise, they'll burn through their cargo hatch and they'll lose that cargo midway back in transit. So, um, yeah. Still looking through these journals to see if there's like, but I can't seem to find anything meaningful. Why? Yeah, no. Yeah, all this engineering is the worst. Like, I mean, whoever decided that you couldn't overwrite modules on suits and weapons, I mean, it's just such a like player anti-player like disrespect to all people's time. I mean, I get it that if you want to say that mods once installed can't be uninstalled, so you have to overwrite them. I get that, but at the very least, you should be able to delete a module from a suit or a weapon and put in a new one without actually having to engineer a brand new suit from the get-go. I mean, that's just bad design. It's like, especially considering how like expensive in terms of materials all of that is. Like, so I have a G5 Maverick and a G5 Dominator, but even I mean, I have some stuff in here that honestly I would have changed. Like, I have a nice Dominator with stuff that I would overwrite if I had the chance to do it. Like right now, I have increased sprint duration, which kind of does very little. Damage resistant, combat movement speed, and night vision. If I had a chance, I'd get rid of increased speed duration and I would put ammo capacity in here because, that's just so much better. And I would get rid of night vision and I would put shield recharge delay one because those make humongous difference. Um, whereas these two really don't. And at some point, I am slowly kind of like working towards engineering a Dominator for daytime operations, and with the idea of leaving this one for nighttime operations. But again, I just couldn't bring myself to go through the process of grinding this all again. Too much work. My Maverick is pretty nice though. Quite a first bets, backpack, two consumption, and night vision. This one I honestly don't know what I would change. Again, if I really wanted to go overboard, I would make two versions. One for daytime operations. I would also have increased energy, so that you basically get the combining effect of less tool consumption and more energy in each pack. And then basically you don't need to worry about energy at all anymore. But other than that, this is pretty nice. And the Artemis doesn't matter. I mean, the only Artemis I have is the jump assist one that I use at Spire sites to jump around when I'm doing Spire sabotages. The Artemis already has the most powerful jetpack of all the suits. If you put improve jump assist on that too, you basically can jump halfway across the planet, and makes jumping around, especially around the jumping minigame of Spire sites, very very convenient. So this is, if you have an Artemis, I highly recommend putting improved jump assist at least one of them. Why are opinion polls so hard to find? Yeah, you just go outside and ask some questions. Um, yeah, opinion polls are hard to find until you get to the right settlement, and then once you get to the right settlement, you basically have a reasonable spawn rate, and you cycle it, and you get enough. I did the grind when you actually needed 40 opinion polls. I think we cut it down now; it's like 10. But I did it when it originally came out, and you need 40. Now that was just excruciatingly bad. Um, yeah, I'd do that too. Like just getting a suit to G5 is like, oh my god, like it's also not particularly fun or engaging gameplay. So it's like takes way too long. Uh, Navigator for a Karas, yeah, sure. That would be handy too. Let me put my XSF uniform back on. What ship am I in? This is fine. You can keep that stuff here. Let me put my nice D33 drives on the actual proper Chieftain. This is the good Chieftain. This is the Mecha Chief, my personal version, personal take on the Meta Chieftain, which is notably different from having two flak launchers and one M3 Gauss, and running with lightweight alloys for a ship that is significantly faster than the Meta Chief. I find that the additional tank is nice if you're kind of a beginner, but once you have some experience, Let's see, make sure I put the dirty drive off. And I will sell the one so it doesn't take up unnecessary space. There you go. And I should be able to put on now the frame shift drive. Oh, I can keep this one for now. Alright, ship is set. So with that, commanders, unless there's any other questions, thank you for following today's stream. I hope you found it entertaining to fly an E-Rated Chieftain on a Titan bombing assignment and compare it to the pre-built version of the AX Chieftain that Frontier Development plans to sell. I think we've made our argument and made our case that the E-Rated Chieftain is, I think better is probably a bit of extreme of a statement, but like competitive, let's put it that way, like with that build, and in general that even the crappiest of builds is viable as far as Titan bombing is concerned. So that's not the point. And the point is to have like a starter build that can grow and people can expand upon, that gets people to survive in a meaningful way. You're welcome, Clemir Dark. Great to have you. Thank you, FS Dracon. It's great to have you as well. Block Twat as well. Skybolt as well. Thank you all 7 commanders.